Welcome to the 2022 Gobblers and Gobblettes Fitcamp division. Big, huge thanks to our athletes for signing up and supporting our many competitions. And another big thanks to our judges and volunteers for your generosity of your time. We definitely could not pull these competitions off without you. Fitcamp workout number 1. Complete as many rounds and reps as possible in 10 minutes. One person will be working at a time while the other person rests, breaking up the reps however they choose. 10 single arms doubles press, 20 wall balls, and 30 ab mat sit-ups. Key points for the single arm doubles press. Number 1, you must alternate arms and finish on an even number before your partner can take over. So for example, if you are going to do the third rep, first, second, and third, you must also complete the fourth before your partner can take over, starting that 5th rep. This is to make it easier for our judges to keep track of reps. Number 2, you may not drop the dumbbell at any point. Please guide it down. This is for the safety of our athletes and to protect our equipment. You can transition the dumbbell from one hand to the other at any point of the single arm doubles press. So this may be at the top of the press, mid-descent, or at the floor level. Your partner may not start their reps until the dumbbell is placed back on the floor. And if you have a same-sex team, you may not hand the dumbbell to your partner. These 2 rules are to keep it fair amongst all teams, no matter their combo of partners. Your partner may be waiting at the wall, ready to begin wall balls, and can start as soon as the 10th doubles rep is achieved. Movement standard. Chest has to touch the floor at the bottom of the burpee. You're going to move the dumbbell from the ground to an overhead position in one continuous motion. No clean and jerks are allowed. To complete the rep, elbows, hips, knees are locked out at the top, and the dumbbell is over the center plane of the body. Here we have Taylor demonstrating the single arm doubles press. She's going to show you different variations of how you can transition that dumbbell from one arm to the other, whether it's at the top, whether it's mid-descent, or whether it's on the ground. Any of those options will be acceptable. Key point number 1 on the wall balls. One partner may be waiting at the wall while the other partner is completing the doubles press. Number 2, all teams, no matter their combo, must let the ball drop to the floor before allowing their partner to pick up the ball and begin their set of reps. So for example, male-female teams will have 2 balls. Your other partner waiting may not have the ball in hand. They have to wait for the ball to drop. Your movement standard for wall balls, at the start of the rep, the ball is in the support position. You can squat clean the first rep as long as the bar starts on the floor. Your squat until the hip crease is below the knee, and then the ball must hit at or above the target line, which will be shown in the video. Here we have Taylor demonstrating the wall ball to the male line, which is the first blue line, and then also the female line, which is going to be where the gray and the blue wall meet. Here you'll see Taylor demonstrating some no reps, which are not below parallel. It would also be a no rep if you don't hit the designated line. Key point for the ab mat sit-up. You must use the ab mat. Have to use it. A butterfly position and a traditional style will be allowed. Another point is that each athlete will have their own ab mat, so you both can be sitting on the floor waiting to take over for each other's reps. Movement standard, you're going to transition back with your arms overhead, touching the floor behind you with your hands. And then upon sitting up, you're going to touch the toe portion of your shoes. Reaching for the heels of the floor will be a no rep. You are allowed to do a butterfly position or a more traditional style sit-up as shown there. Or you can switch back and forth. It doesn't matter to us. The ab mat will be placed at the lower part of the back. She's going to transition back and she's going to take her arms overhead, touching her hands to the floor, and then she's going to reach towards the top portion of her shoe right there. That's perfect. Again, all the way back, touching her hands to the ground and then reaching towards her toe. Go ahead and show them a couple in the other position. Okay, so that's going to be allowed too, but you still have to touch the top portion of your toe. A no rep would be not touching her hands to the ground behind her. So if she just touches her shoulder blades, or if she reaches towards touches the floor or the back part of her shoe, anywhere like that is going to be a no rep. Fitcamp workout number 2, time cap 10 minutes. Partner number 1 will complete a full round, and then partner number 2 will complete a full round. They will alternate back and forth until 6 rounds is complete or the time cap is reached. One round consists of 8 sumo deadlift high pulls, 8 burpee box jumps or step overs, and 8 hand release push-ups. Using both hands, pull the kettlebell from the floor to the clavicle using the handle, keeping the elbows higher than the hands. For ease of judging, as long as the top of the handle is above the nipple line, then the knees and hips are extended, it will be considered a completed good rep for the sumo deadlift high pull. The sumo deadlift high pull. The kettlebell starts in the floor. She's going to use both hands, pulling the kettlebell from the ground to the clavicle, keeping the elbows higher than the hands. Hips and knees will be extended upon completion as well. For ease of judging purposes, it would be considered a full rep once the knees and hips are extended at the top of the handle and the top of the handle of the kettlebell is above the nipple line. Okay, good. Show us a couple no reps. Okay, it's just not high enough there. Show us one where they don't extend the hips or knees. Yeah, right there. Okay, good, thank you. Key points for the burpee box jump or step overs. These are box facing, meaning that your body is perpendicular to the box, not parallel. Key point number 2 is that you are permitted to jump or step over and also permitted to jump or step down. There is no extension required at the top of the box. For male-female teams, as soon as your partner has completed their 8th burpee box jump rep and have moved on to the hand release push-ups, you may go ahead and flip the box. Your partner may go ahead and flip the box to the appropriate height so that they are ready to go for when their time comes around. Movement standard, a little repetitive here. Athlete is facing the box perpendicular to it. Chest and thighs must touch the floor at the bottom of the burpee. The athlete jumps or steps over the box. The rep is considered complete when landing on the other side of the box. Okay, Taylor is going to demonstrate a burpee box jump step over. Chest and thighs hit the floor as she's facing the box. She'll step over, no hip extension required. She's going to turn around, face it again. On this next rep, she will jump over. It's kind of cut off a little bit on the video. Again, no extension required. The movement standard for the hand release push-ups. Start in a plank position. Your feet may not be wider than shoulder width. Chest with the nipple line or above must touch the floor. Both hands will then lift completely off of the floor to release. Then you will push back up to a plank position to be considered a completed rep. Note, worming or snaking is permitted. This is allowed for ease of judging purposes. Taylor will slide up in a plank position. She will go all the way to the floor, touching her chest to the ground, nipple line or above. She's going to release those hands completely, as shown, and then press again back up to the plank position to be considered a full rep. There's a couple more. Also, it is noted that snaking or worming is allowed, so you'll see her demonstrate those there in a couple of reps. Here's a couple no reps where she doesn't go all the way to the ground. This one she goes all the way to the ground but doesn't release. And of course a main no rep would be not locking out. Fitcamp workout number 3, time cap of 15 minutes. You will start with a buy-in where you will choose one person to complete the calorie row. It will be 50 calories if it's a male or 35 calories if it's a female, and they must complete that entire row. Once they are done, then both partners will move to the 3 rounds where they can break up the reps however they choose, with one person working at a time while the other person rests. It'll be 3 rounds of 30 dumbbell snatches, followed immediately into 30 goblet squats using a dumbbell, followed by 60 single unders. Once they've completed those 3 rounds, then it'll be a cash out of another calorie row. The partner who has not rowed yet will be rowing this time. And again, it'll be the same reps, 50 calories for the men, 30 calories for the ladies. Key points on the rowing. Rower must be set to 0 for each of the 2 rows. Partner 1 completes the entire first row, and the partner number 2 will complete the entire second row. For the scoring, each row will count as only 1 rep since the calories will be different depending on the team combination. If you are time capped while on the row, you will receive a partial rep depending on the percent completed of the last row. For example, if a male was completing the last row and he completed 40 of the 50 calories, he would have completed 0.8 of the 1 rep of the last row. Key points for the dumbbell snatch, which will follow the same logic as the doubles press. You must alternate arms and finish on an even number before your partner can take over. So for example, if you did the first, second, and third rep, you must also complete the fourth rep before you're allowing your partner to take over on the fifth. You may not drop the dumbbell at any point. Please guide it down. This is for the safety of the athletes as well as the protection of our equipment. For the dumbbell snatch, you can transition the dumbbell to the other hand at any point. So the top of the snatch, mid-descent, or at the floor level. Your partner may not start their reps until the dumbbell is placed on the floor. You may not hand the dumbbell to your partner. This is to make it fair no matter the combo of the team. If you are completing the 30th dumbbell snatch rep, you may go directly into the goblet squat. The movement standard for the dumbbell snatch, both heads of the dumbbell must touch the ground at the start of every single rep. Lift the dumbbell overhead in one motion. Clean and jerks are not permitted. At the top, the athlete's arm, hips, and knees must be fully locked out with the dumbbell clearly over the middle of the athlete's body. A split snatch is permitted if you return your feet in line underneath the body. See some dumbbell snatch reps where this is an example of transitioning at the top. There'll be some where they transition mid-descent, as shown there. You can see. And then we'll have some coming up where they're going to actually switch it out on the floor. All of these are acceptable ways to transition the kettlebell. Now, if you are the partner who's completing the 30th rep, you can go ahead and hang on to that dumbbell and go straight into those dumbbell squats, as shown there. However, if you do not plan on starting the dumbbell squats and you want your partner to do so, then you're going to actually have to place the dumbbell on the floor before they take it over. For key points for the goblet squats, we will allow two holding positions. One will be the front rack holding both heads of the dumbbell. The other will be a vertical position holding one dumbbell. You are not allowed to hold the dumbbell with just one hand at any point, so it cannot be held by your side and cannot be hoisted on your shoulder. It cannot be held behind the neck. For this is the vertical position where you're holding just one head of the dumbbell. Note that the hip crease is below the top part of the knee with full extension of the knees and hips. The other position may be a front rack holding both heads of the dumbbell. Again, hip crease below the top part of the knee, as well as full extension of the knees and hips. Here are some no reps where you don't go below parallel. And then obviously holding the dumbbell with one hand at any point by your side, whether it's on your shoulder or maybe on your back. All of these are going to be considered no reps. Key points for the single under. Start off with a judging tip. Look only at the feet and count the jumps. Do not look at the arms. We suggest crouching down, which will help you focus just on their feet. Each athlete must bring their own jump rope. Both athletes may have their jump rope in hand if they plan on switching back and forth between athletes on the single unders. The athlete who has not rowed yet may be on the rower waiting on the other athlete completing the last set of single unders. For the movement standard for the jump rope, the rope goes around the feet one time for every one jump. The rope must go in a forward motion.
All right, Taylor's here, and she's going to demonstrate a single under for us. The main thing here is that it cannot go backwards. It must go forward. The rope will pass one time around for every one jump. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tip my camera forward and focus just on the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This concludes our standard review. Heat 1 will be going at 7:30 a.m. in approximately 15 minutes. There will be 5-minute breaks between heats and 15-minute breaks between WODs. As far as warm-up goes, if you are in Heat 1, you may use the actual lane to do your warm-up. Otherwise, all other warm-ups may be done at the back of the gym where the platforms are. If you wish to use the Fitcamp room, you may use the equipment that's in there to warm up as well. But please note, we do not allow any chalk of any sort in that room. To view the results for today and heat schedules, please visit scoring.newcovecrossfit.com. And if you have any scoring disputes at all, if it's a math or entry error, please visit the front desk. If you have any issues with judging, then you may approach the head judge or the owner, Emily. Best of luck today, guys. Crush it out there and stay safe.